Hey, Sarah D.
Hey, Michael Height.
So, Sarah, we are excited this week. We decided, you and I, that we are going to do a bonus episode this week. So here's the plan. We are going to go into the archives for this week from a simpler time. This is our New Year's episode from season 1. Next week, we have a little bit of a plan. We are going to revisit our New Year's resolutions that we discussed last January, and we're going to see just how well we held up with these supposed plans and resolutions that we gave ourselves for this year. We're going to see how we did overall. We'll see how we did, where we flopped, where we succeeded, we should say, or maybe where we kept the baseline. And then we're going to do something a little bit different, which we haven't done before, is we are going to have a little bit of a challenge. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this. But between now and next week, we're asking you one small favor. You can email us, you can call us, leave a voicemail, send in a Raven, Jon Snow, I don't care what it is. But if you have some sort of New Year's resolutions or something you think you're going to do for the following year, or ones for us, I should say, please let us know. We're going to discuss these New Year's resolutions along with the ones that we did last year. And let's just say maybe we'll do a winner take all. So you'll have to find out what that is next week when you come back for Hey the Parents. And in the meantime, Happy New Year and Happy Holidays.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
All right, Sarah D. We are going to see everybody on the other side. Yes, no?
Yes.
All right. All right.
Peace.
This week on Hey the Parents, we are talking about the freshest start of them all, New Year's Day. So clean up those dishes, drop those items in the recycling bucket, because we are here to discuss New Year's Day with your family. We talk about setting up some family New Year's resolutions. We're talking about maybe getting in shape, planning on getting along better. Did someone want to start a new hobby? And of course, we talk about New Year's Day when we were younger, mishaps with our own kids, and what the supposed experts say. Because it's the three of us and all of you. I'm Michael Height.
I'm Sarah D.
And I'm Mike Levine.
Kids don't come with a handbook, so we need your help.
Where do babies come from?
Where do you think they come from?
Is this a kissing book?
Mama!
What?
Hi.
I learned it by watching you. There are no rules in this house. I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
We sent them to the best boarding schools. We hired the best nannies. We did everything right.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
No drinking, no drugs, no kissing, no tattoos, no piercings, no ritual animal slaughters of any kind.
Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
This is Hey Other Parents, an honest, messy, imperfect show for raising kids.
Hey, welcome
What's
back.
up?
It's
What's
us
going
again.
on?
Hey, friends. Hey, Mike Levine. Hey, Sarah D.
What's up there, Michael Height?
Man, we are back. We were just talking about as we were pop of the intro, and we were like looking in the videos of each other, and I'm like, man, I need a haircut. You guys ever do that? You do the New Year's Day, New Year's couple days before school starts, the old haircut with the kiddies.
Yeah, man. Well, it's that new time. Everything's new, so you need the freshness, right? The fresh cut, the fresh everything.
I think you do, but it feels like you sit down and like you're waiting, and it feels like you'll be there for 6 hours, and everyone's got the same face on. Everyone looks a little crusty, and they're all like got that look on, like they're paying time. And it's just, we're all in this together, people. We know the haircuts. It's just inevitable at some point. I know you're looking at those shears that you had from COVID, and you're probably like ready to bust those out and start buzzing your kids' hair, but it never comes out quite right. So, just do what you got to do, Man, so let me tell you guys, this week is like that funny week where like, the kiddies are home, right? We're getting that time on with the family, and the kids are now running out of things to do. They got some presents now. Yeah. And now they're like, oh, but this present says it needs more batteries, or it needs more friends, or it needs you guys to do something with us. And you're spending all that time with your kids. But it's okay. It's like that family time. We're in that in-between period, right? But we got, we have some stuff this week that I want to tell you guys about. One was, and I'm sure like whatever you're listening to this podcast is probably like some equivalent of light shows or some sort of holiday lights. You could take the old car through, and then all the lights open up, and then somewhere along the way you could like buy $15 hot chocolate for your kids and meet Santa and whatever else. Oh sure, why not? So this year we changed it up. We went to this. Normally we would take the car, throw the kids in, and we go to Jones Beach, the beach in Long Island, the South Shore, and they do like a light show where you guys all line up, and then you pay per car, and then you drive along, you see all the holiday lights, you feel the stress of people behind you, people in front of you. you know, speed to go. It's a whole thing. And then you you leave and you're like, that was expensive. Did the kids have fun? Who am I to say? So this year we decided to change it up. And exactly. So we went to this other thing that was close by at Eisenhower Park. It's a big park on Long Island, and they did this thing this year, which I don't know if they've ever done it before, but it was this thing called Lumino City. It was this holiday light thing, and it was actually really cool. So you basically pay ahead of time, you park the car, you get inside, and it's like this just humongous light show of things all lit up and like had like different themes to them. They were like these underwater things, these humongous crabs.
Ooh.
They had like it was cool. They had this thing where kids could submit like drawings of animals, and then they give it to this company, and they pick like their favorite 10, and then they recreate these animals in 3D and put lights in them and stuff, and they did all that.
That's awesome.
It was really cool. It was neat. You know, I mean, like to pay money and to drive through is one feeling, but to actually like have to de-stress a little bit and like walk around with your family was actually kind of neat. So we enjoyed that. It was kind of fun.
And the weather has been good for that. So is it worth it? Because I've been looking at it.
I would say it's like $25 a person. I think it is worth it if like you say to yourself you're gonna like do like one holiday thing like that, because like we're definitely, and I know like we're like, you know, a little behind schedule. I know when this episode releases it's gonna be like a New Year's, but we still haven't done the thing where we throw the kids in the car with the pajamas and like driven around to see the houses yet.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're waiting for, because I'm sure people are gonna start to like take those things down soon. I know some people like leave holiday lights up till like, you know, June, but most people are gonna take them down. So we're definitely gonna do that. Do you guys have near you? Are there like houses that have like insane, crazy like lights that you try to like drive to every year or whatever else?
So we have in my neighborhood, not many houses that do that, but there is one house like on like one of the main drags by where I am, and they do their house up huge, but like every like 3 years or something like that. Like it's never consistent. I tried to find like their thinking to it. So like this year it was there, but like I felt like 7 years ago it wasn't there. So I don't know. Like they just do it every other quarter of a century or something like that. But it's really cool.
Oh, that's wild. But when it's done right, it's pretty awesome.
Oh, it's pretty awesome. And I think back in the day when I took Sophia and Julian, they gave it hot chocolate and like candy canes to kids and stuff
no
like that.
way.
Yeah, and it's literally the only house though that does it on that neighborhood.
They do a house near us that's where is it? I guess in Levittown, pretty close by, where they it's like a big to do every year, and I think that they take like donations and they donate the money towards like whatever cause it is that year, which is actually
that's
kind of
nice.
cool.
That's really cool.
You know, it's like one of those like big crazy like three
That's
houses that are on
awesome,
the block do these like insane over the top like music and lights and
that's beautiful.
spotlights on the house, and you know. I'm sure it probably costs an arm and a leg with electricity and stuff, but it's very cool. I like doing
Yeah,
that.
no, I love it.
It's like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, exactly. Holy moly. So after, well done, sir. Yeah. So after we busted out Elf and watched like half of it, I don't know, my kids need to get on board. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I love Elf. Elf is the funniest movie ever. And they were like kind of into it, kind of not into it. So we decided that we were going to pause on that. We're going to finish it this week. And we busted out Mario Kart. Now, let me tell you, friends, Mario Kart in our family is like one of those things that like we don't play it too often, but when it comes out, like it gets a little competitive, and it becomes like we're taking daddy down. And I don't really feel the need to be the bad guy, but I am apparently when it comes to this. So I've embraced being the bad guy. And I was like, I could be many characters. I could play, I could play Toad, I could play, the Koopa. But I decided that if I'm really gonna commit to the bit, I have to play Bowser. So I play Bowser because when you play as Bowser, you're just notably the bad guy of the night, and your kids will purposely want to take you down for multi reasons of you being the dad and winning lots of races and also being Bowser. So I found that Bowser actually kicks butt, like really, really good. But you have to I don't know if you knew about this Mario Kart. If you hit like the little plus buttons on the top of the controller, it actually has like a little graph, and it shows you like the acceleration, the speed, the weight, clipboard. So I get really involved with this, and I'm like trying to build the ultimate like setup.
Yes.
So some new characters posted, and I tried out like a piranha plant, whatever else. Ethan grabs another character. So it's Ethan, my wife, Jacob, and I, and Noah's ready to sleep. So we're playing, we're getting competitive, doing a thing, and all of a sudden, Ethan's like, I'm coming in second place. I'm like, second place? I'm like, what's going on right now?
What the heck?
What's going on? I'm getting nailed with turtle shells like left and right. But all of a sudden, I'm feeling the stress. I'm feeling like that, you get the heat on your neck, like little sweats. Yeah. So Ethan is coming around the bend, and there's 4 races for every setup, whatever. So first race, second place, second race, second place. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening right now? he gets first place in the third race. First place in the fourth race, and I think I might have dropped down at one point. He took it. He got the first place for the night. So I wanted to give my child a little, I'm a little impressed. So what I'm saying is there might be a new bad guy in the house, and his name is Ethan. So
very nice.
I get to the throne may have been removed temporarily from me being the biggest bad. And I think Ethan is a new baddie in the house. So that was kind of nice to pass up. He was so happy. He was like taking pictures in front of the TV. I'm like, you're gloating. Take it easy. Right?
I love it. I love it.
It was hysterical. So I don't know. What we're actually working on an episode pretty soon where we're talking about family game night. But it was very funny watching this all come together. Anyway, we will definitely talk about that in the near future, but this episode today is all about New Year's Day and making those resolutions. Sarah D, maybe we'll start with you. What's on the docket for your New Year's this year?
So I think we're gonna do something a little different than we traditionally have done. So we're gonna hang out with the kids, and then we're gonna actually venture off to go to a grown-up party later on. So
Ooh.
Yes.
So
that's what we're doing. I know, right? So
Very
we're gonna do that this year, and I think it should be fun. So I'm excited for that.
That's awesome.
Because lately we've been struggling to stay up.
Now, because the kids are now old enough to do this, or
yeah, they're old enough to do this and stuff like that. So like they'll chill and we'll be semi-adultish.
That's cool.
To like 2.
Do they have like a kid area of the house where like preteen, tweens, teens are kind of hanging out?
Yeah,
the adults are like,
they're gonna go hang out in the basement somewhere. Yes, together.
While you guys are partying upstairs.
Yes, and just be like, I wish they would calm down already. Or how long you here for?
Oh, right. So does the night change from like at first the kids are like, I don't want to be here, to like where like the parents are ready to like go home and the kids are still ready to party? Like
they're hanging out.
It's gonna go.
It's gonna go 2 ways. Like, we're gonna have one who's gonna be like very happy to like just be hanging out late night and like allowed to do so with her phone, and then the other one's gonna be like, can we go? I'm tired. So.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm anticipating. So let's see what happens.
So who's gonna be the rock star? Do you think Julian's gonna want to go home, or Julian's gonna rally? Like,
Julian's gonna want to go home, I think. Sophie's gonna be the rock star. Yep.
He's like
he just wants to be home with his PS5. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna be with his PS5, with his Lego figurines. He's gonna be. He just wants to be home, comfy and cozy.
It's funny because like when you do those things, like when they're uncomfortable, they just kind of want to like be attached to your leg, and then you're kind of like trying to like scrape them off, like go be with kids your age, like talk to them, and sometimes like it's just majestical, and they like majestical, is that a word? They they like all of a sudden form like they find a friend, all of a sudden they hit it off, or they don't. Yes. And then you either they're running around doing their thing and talking to kids, or you spend the rest of the night like trying to convince them to talk to strangers.
Correct. That's really it. That's in a nutshell, and it doesn't change because like that's the same thing with Sophia. It's gonna be either we want to go home now, or we've hit it off with someone and we don't want to go ever. And now we want to sleep over, so we'll
But it's
find
nice. It's so nice to get out sometimes, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Do they get dressed up? You got bust out like they wear like New Year's clothes. Like, do they have like the official like they get like old like swaggy, like they got like the shirt and tie. Like what's is it just like more like looking snazzy, like sweaters and stuff?
Just new clothes.
I'm trying to picture.
Yeah, new
clothes.
New clothes. Yeah, we don't get to like back in the day when I was younger, we would get like super fancy. I remember having like this really cool like matching set where it was like gold and black, and I was like, "This is my New Year's Eve outfit," and I was like, all excited to wear
like this is it.
Yeah, it had like
you've been waiting like a week to wear it. Like
yes, picture. It was definitely nice. It was like big bows and like splattered paint and gold and glitter, and it was amazing. And I was couldn't wait to wear that because sitting on my mom's couch, I was gonna be somewhere fancy. So
heck yeah! And then the New Year's glasses. Did you have the glasses when you were younger?
We actually didn't do. There's so many things that went on for New Year's Eve at my mom's house that we didn't. There was no need for the hats and the glasses and the streamers and stuff like that because we just had between holding the money, eating the grapes, and like saying saying different things. It was just
we're gonna be
too
growing
much.
Up Carmen.
Yes, growing up Carmen.
This is amazing. All right, we're gonna get that in a second. What about you, Mike Levine? What do you got going on, buddy?
Yeah, so this New Year's we are kind of just gonna be the 5 of us. I feel like and I was talking to Taylor about this. I'm like, what should we do for New Year's? Should we do something special? Should we invite people over? Whatever. And we kind of looked at each other and we're like, for the whole holiday season, we're always going with family, or we're going to somebody's house, or somebody's coming over. It's like we want one of the holidays just be like the small unit, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so we kind of just keeping it us low key, the 5 of us, and I'll make like a special dinner for us, and we can bring in the new year just the 5 of us. So that's the plan. In our PJs, nothing like super crazy new clothes or anything like that. Just very comfortable, very cozy, and just us kind of thing,
I like that. You know what?
it.
There's not really a right or a wrong. I feel like both options sound pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
What about you guys?
Yeah, we used to do. I think we're kind of like in the middle somewhere. We're kind of like we do that thing where we're like, it's funny because Mike, we were texting the 3 of us like about like one of your kids wasn't feeling well. That was like Christmas Eve. I'm like, go hit Trader Joe's, like get all the snacks. I think what I was basically doing is telling you everything that I was thinking about for New Year's myself. So like sometimes we like to go and like, because like Noah's still kind of young. So we know we might have some friends over, whatever else, but like low key. And then we usually go to Trader Joe's and like buy one of everything. It's just like, that looks good. But
Why
of
not?
course, a feta goes with, salsa, sure, whatever. So we get like, it's ridiculous. We buy like a little bit of everything. And then there's been some years where I'll make like a bolognese lasagna, which is like, I don't know why that becomes a thing. It's so involved. I've made like, my own pasta sheets and all that stuff before. But there's something cool, like we were talking about this a few episodes ago, like getting the kids involved. So I've done that a couple times where we might do like a dish like that, where like get the kids making like the pasta sheets and then making the sauce a couple days before and stuff like that. It's kind of fun. I'm gonna have to like see what the house is like. Obviously this is gonna
vibe.
The vibe,
recorded
get
and
the
posted
vibe.
after the fact, but we'll report back on the next episode and how that all shakes down. But so this is cool. So we're definitely want to talk about New Year's, and then we'll talk about resolutions and stuff. But we can't go without a good old jumping back in time with Growing Up Carmen. So we're getting right into that. Sarah D, bring us back. What was it like in the household when you were younger? You got your sequin shirts. You got it all picked out. Everything's flattened, ironed on the hanger.
Oh, yeah.
Ready for the big night to come.
Oh, so you were there.
Bring us back. What do you got?
Okay, so Growing Up Carmen, man. So that house had to be immaculate. I mean, my house, I grew up in a very clean house. My mom was like crazy with that. But like things got washed that like never got washed before. Like the little figurines on the wall and the baseboards had to get all nice and clean. So that started like at least a good weekend before New Year's actually arrived. And then we got grapes because we would count 10 grapes for the New Year. So as the countdown's going, you pop a grape into your mouth, and it's very tricky because you gotta actually chew them and not choke and get them all in there before the
Did
ball
you do this
actually
thing
drops.
where you hit did you hit like a pan? Or like, did you bang something when you did this?
No, we didn't do that. So my mom would throw away any plates or cups that have a chip in it. So everything had to be thrown away. And we would hold money because you always want to start the new year with like money in your hands, like fresh bills from the bank. Like that'd be crispy, not just the ones you find all over the place. And what else we used to do? That was fun.
Grapes?
Oh, new grape. We did the grapes, we did the money, and new clothes. I mean, head to toe. Like your undies had to be a certain color and everything like that because you want to bring. You had to bring in good luck for the year. Like so you had a brand new clothes that you never wore before because you got to start off the year fresh and new. And then my mom used to make, so kind of going back to the radishes, but not. She used to make a special bath water for us to bathe ourselves when we took a shower, to wash away all the negativity and bring in positivity and fortune. And one year, there's cinnamon in it. So one year she boiled the cinnamon too much, I think. And I was like a teenager at this point. So I had washed myself with my water and my skin was burning up. And I was like so embarrassed because I was like hot and red, and we're going to I'm a teenager, I'm going to a party, and everyone's like cool and hip, and there I am like itching because I have the cinnamon water on my skin and it's burning
Did somebody
up.
French toast?
Yes. And I was just like, oh my God. I texted my mom. I was like, Mom, why? And I called her. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was like, she's like, I meant the cinnamon too long. I was like, I know you did because I'm burning up. I'm like, what do I do? She's
Sarah
like,
D's like calling on him from a payphone down the block at a party, and
yes. And I'm like, Ma, why am my skin burning off? But so good luck, man.
Good luck, man.
Good luck. So what about you guys? What do you guys have?
Yeah, when I was younger, my mom always hosted like parties during New Year's. And I don't know if it's like a Hispanic thing or a Puerto Rican thing, but like we would invite everybody over, and after the party, after like the bell hit 12 and 12:01, and everybody celebrated. We always assumed like, oh, okay, people will start like leaving and going, but not in our family. Everybody stayed till like 2 a.m, and we're like, people are tired here, like want to go to bed, But it was always, so I always remember like my mom would host these parties and like people would not leave. They would just love hanging out, love staying, love celebrating. And then, another thing we would always do is we'd have coquito, which was like,
oh, nice.
Yeah, like that coconut, like drink that Puerto Ricans would always use for the holidays with alcohol in it. And then the other thing that we would always do too is we would have the grapes. I think I mentioned it before when you were talking about it. Is like you're supposed to have like 12 green grapes for like 12 wishes. So I just always remember that, but I never really remember making a wish. I would just eat the grapes.
Oh, for salad.
Just for good luck.
Yes.
But it was always a good time. And then if we didn't host a party, we would go to a party, and then I'd be like, nagging my mom, when are we going home? I want to play with my toys. I want to do whatever I want to, do as a, young kid. So it was, those were like my memories when I was younger. New Year's, I don't know if it's as big as it is for everybody, but for us, it was always a low-key thing, and I think that's why I kind of just try to do a low-key thing now as being older and having my own family. So, I don't know. What about you, Mike?
I remember like we would oftentimes like, either go out to eat. Actually, I'm trying to think, no, maybe we wouldn't go out to eat. Maybe we'd order food in, because I think like going out to eat now it just feels like one of those holidays going out to eat is like a whole to-do. I don't think it was so much back then. Because now it's like, Valentine's Day, get a heart-shaped steak, New Year's, $250 a person to have, But I think it wasn't that big of a deal. Go for Chinese food, go home, or my parents would have friends over, and then it would be like us trying to stay up late was like a challenge for my sister and I. I think my parents were trying to convince us to go to bed. Like they would just get us to eat dessert like early. So like, sit at the table, have dessert. All of a sudden you're like, as a kid, you're like, what comes next? Go to sleep. So I don't think we ever like truly stayed up too late. But I think we grew up with, my parents they have a split house. So what they would do, which worked out really well for them. We don't have a split house now. We have a ranch, but we would have it where my sister and I would be hanging out like downstairs on the lower part of the split, where they had like a TV in that room. And then my parents and their friends would hang out like upstairs with like, the big table and the smaller TV, but they'd be kind of hanging out upstairs. So we would just kind of hang out and kind of like do our thing and just play games, whatever else, until we kind of got tired, and then we would go to bed. But it's just so funny. Like I just remembering all these memories of sitting at the table, like with my parents' friends and like trying to like hang out, like catch up with stories. They're probably like, when's this kid going to bed?
Yeah.
But it's so funny. Like all these memories of just like sitting there, like, at the table, like feeling the cool kid hanging out with the parents and, catching up on life and all that nonsense. But, we'd have like the ball drop on TV and that whole thing. And we try to watch it. And, occasionally we'd stay up late. My parents had like grape juice, whatever for us. And we tried to stay up and watch the whole thing. But for some reason, with my peeps, we'd always be having that Chinese food. Like that seems to be like an ongoing thematic thing. But it's so funny. I mean, remembering, I don't know if you guys were in the situation, but, fast forwarding to the next day, it was always like a thing with like cleaning. I feel like you guys talk about your mom, with the dishes and this and that. We would like wake up. My mom would like have like in her mind, my mom and dad would have some plan that my sister and I were not privy to, but somehow it involved moving furniture around the house. And I don't know how this started, but like every year, somehow my parents were like, we could redo the room if we move the couch to this side, but nobody could picture what it would look like.
Right.
So it would involve moving things from room to room or from angle to angle. And then they'd look at it like, nah, I don't like that. And then he's moving it back. This is ridiculous. I don't know how that whole thing started. And
Probably
then
staying up
inevitably
late.
we'd go and
Yeah.
Probably, right? Because, like, I don't know. You
Looking
guys
around the
now
house
looking,
to like, you know,
right? Do you
switch it up.
honestly really want to be moving furniture right now? Like, not now, but like the day after. Be like all crusty and be like, oh, I'm doing this, you know? But we would pick up my grandmother, go out to the diner. She would be getting the official California fruit salad, which I don't know what people did. That do you remember this California fruit salad? This was like a platter of fruit and cottage cheese in a plate. I don't know.
Why did I exactly envisioned that? That was like what I thought in my head.
People in California are like, we don't eat that.
We don't eat
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing.
Like, the land of cottage cheese, California.
Right, we drop her off and like that whole thing. What about you guys? You remember like the next day, like with your parents and stuff? Like, what was that whole thing?
Yeah, so there was this one New Year's that I remember when I was younger, and we actually spent it in the city. I don't know if you've ever done a city New Year's, a New York City New Year's Eve to New Year's Day thing. We it was crazy. For a New Year's Eve the night before, there was just so many people everywhere, and we were just trying to get to like the hotel, which was right next to the bowl, and like there were people everywhere, cops everywhere. And
oh wow,
like,
you did like the actual
like in the city. We never like were outside. We wanted to go up to the hotel room to kind of see it from like
that's nice.
I forgot what hotel it was, but it was close. And we were like, all right, let's escape the crowd and let's just go up to the hotel room and watch the ball drop from the room. And it was an experience. It was like if you could envision like a concert or some type of event where there's just a mass people standing around and you're just literally pushing your way through to, like, if you're stuck in the mud trying to get to wherever you need to get to. And it was an experience, but it was fun. It was something, I guess, cool to experience. Something like, I guess, the Thanksgiving Day parade or, you know, something like that. But it was interesting, and I liked it. We had a great time. And then the next day, you know, we had like this big family breakfast in the hotel room. It was one of my favorite New Year's ever because we, like I said before, my mom would host parties here and then, but eventually it kind of died down and kind of kept it low key. Yeah. But, you know, when we went to that city and we had like this big family outing and experience in the city, it was really cool. And then having that breakfast and kind of, you know, starting fresh and starting new, it was just a great experience, and I'll never forget it, you know?
Aww,
it's so funny because,
nice.
like, when you watch on TV, like, they are out cleaning up, like, the moment that ball drops, it's like the sanitation department jumps right in and they're like going to town. I mean, I'm sure you probably don't remember like what it looked like outside, but I wonder, like, was it weird? Was it a ghost town? Do you remember? I mean, do you remember this?
No,
like,
it's amazing. After the ball drops, like the crowds disperse. They are just like leaving, like
everyone's like, where's the bathroom?
Yeah, right. Yeah, probably.
And then as they're dispersing, you just see piles of garbage everywhere. But then there is like 50 trucks to one street, and they are just sweeping it all up, cleaning it all up, and then within like hours, it's gone. It's like it never happened.
Like it never happened.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's like
That's awesome.
It's really, really interesting. Yeah.
There are a couple times I want my family to. What is everything? It's like you got the you know, the Spanish rice and beans, and I got Chinese food. I don't know what's going on. So we went to the city, and we went for. My parents used to take us to like Queens or the city and Flushing, or we'd go into Manhattan, to Chinatown. And then one year we actually went for the first time. I guess they must have thought like we were like a little old enough, we could try different food. So we went out for dim sum. My sister and I will never forget this.
Ooh, dim sum.
It was this place that you would take this escalator up, and you'd go in this huge place, and these humongous round tables. And the part that my parents didn't tell us was that you don't sit with just your family. They just throw you with strangers. It's the weirdest feeling.
That's cool.
So you sit down. Culturally, it's like totally normal, but like I wasn't used to this. So we sat down. They move you in and they put you down on these tables. My sister and I, of course, being us, just giggling like morons because like we're like, why were you sitting with strangers? And they come around with these little carts. This is like New Year's Day. They come around with these carts. So all these little ladies come around with the carts and these metal circular dishes, and you don't know what's like in the cart, so they open up the dish and they show it to you, and you're like, oh, dumplings, chicken feet, no thank you, or like whatever else. And they have like all kinds of stuff. And then it's just like, you just go nuts because you're like, I want that, I want that, I want that. And then they stamp your card. And then I just remember like being perplexed. I'm like, how do they know what we ate? But I guess they stamp your card as you go. And then like, that was the beginning of the dim sum awesomeness. But I remember that was like such a big deal for my sister and I one year, but like, we'll never forget. My sister and I remember more of being sat with strangers than it was the idea of all the awesome food. But man, I have a special place in my heart for dim sum. But man, you wake up from the next day all crusty from the night before and you're like, I know what I want. I want a stomach full of awesome pork,
Exactly.
So good.
Oh yeah, that sounds good.
So like we have like modern times now. My wife has had this this belief that's like whatever you do on New Year's Day kind of like sets the stage for the whole year. I don't know if you guys have this like mentality like where it's like a fresh start or like a new thing that you do. And for years we would go to like Jones Beach, near us, whatever. And we would it didn't matter how cold it was. So we go to the beach, we walk out to the water, we close our eyes. I feel like this is like some of you guys mentioned some of this idea too. And think about like negativity. Like what are the negative things? Not trying to embrace the negativity, but think about the things that bother us or things we want to change. And then pick up a rock and like think about it and like throw it into the water and kind of like let go of the negativity from the year before. So that's something that we would do. We did that for a number of years, and there were times where we do that. I think it was one year, a couple of years ago, where it was like it felt like it was like -11, and we were at the beach, and we're like, this is terrible. Let's not do this again. And we like ran out of the car for a minute, threw like wrapped the kids up in like 15 jackets and 6 hats and scarves, and we were like, this works. Well, I think the next year we didn't because it was just like so ridiculous. But it depends on the weather. But there's something really nice about breathing in that fresh air and like. And that experience, like, I feel like the conversation always goes like this. We're going to go to the car. It'll be really fast. And then, like, as we're driving, we're like, we don't go to the beach. We should go to the beach more. Oh, this is nice. We forget how close we are.
Stay away from the beach. I hate sand.
And then we get back in the car. We're like, that was terrible. So everything else, go to the house. And then, like, one of the kids like, we have hot chocolate. I'm like, yeah, you can have hot chocolate. And that's pretty much the entire flow of it. But now we've realized, like, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. It's like, as long as you're with the family and, that's what matters most. But,
no, but
do you guys have any like traditions or?
I like that idea. And I may actually steal that from you because
do it. Bring extra jackets.
I like to try to do something with the kids on the day of and especially since this year or even prior years I like to keep it low key with just us because we're always celebrating at all the other events with other family and you never get time to celebrate just with your little unit. And I think that's something cool to just integrate where whether it's throwing a rock or kind of just making a wish, with eating grapes, and saying like, bring in the new year with some good ideas and good vibes. So yeah, I may steal that, cause usually we do nothing.
No, I like that, but it is funny because I think a lot of it too depends on like your emotional state with, cause you know how it is like, okay, so if New Year's falls on a Sunday and you have to go, if New Year's Day falls on a Sunday and you're going back to work on a Monday, it feels like so jam-packed. Yeah. Like it feels like you don't even get a chance to like decrust from the night before. Where if it feels like if you have a couple days to kind of do it, it feels like you're in a little bit of a different place mentally. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where like, the beach seems a little bit more fun if it's like, we got to make lunches, we got to pack up. You kind of like try to at least reserve the earlier part of the day to be like with your family and your kids and try to like embrace that like let's be the unit, let's be together, let's actually like not get distracted with our phones and our friends, let's be us for like at least for 15 minutes. I don't know.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying, my friend.
That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Because like one year we did it always involves like a walk of some sorts. It doesn't have to be the beach, but like we try to like throw the kids in the car. Sometimes it's a walk around a block, but sometimes I don't know what the walking thing is. I don't know. Maybe it's my people. I don't know. But we always go for a walk. So one year we would go to like there's like like close by there's a big lake that you could like has like a little bit of a nature trail. We've done with like our neighbors. We walked around a big circle, and then you're halfway through and the kids are hungry. You have to go to the bathroom. You're like, oh, this is great. But I don't know. This always involves this idea of like getting out of the house and getting fresh air. It definitely does feel kind of nice, and that like makes like for a good sort of like. It gets everybody in a good place to kind of think about like making those resolutions or whatever else. But doing something, like one year we did, I think it was last year, we made macaroons. Like we tried to do like a project of some sorts,
Oh,
something
that's
that
cute.
like you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
Like just like we talk about it. Let's just do it, you know. And Jacob is like a big proponent of like trying these little projects or things every year. So he got us to like, you know, to do this one thing. Like we had the ingredients, we just involved us actually like getting off the couch and doing it. So like he's like, I want to make macaroons. We're like, all right, fine. So then we're like, oh well, we actually have everything. All right, fine, let's do this. So like once we got in that mental state of like doing it and getting everything out, we were so happy that we did it because it was like, who cares if it was good or not? It actually came pretty good, but it was like, it didn't matter if they came out flat or cockeyed or whatever else. It was like, we actually did the thing that we set out to do.
Yeah.
And that's more important than like the quality of like whatever it came out with. But sometimes like just doing something as a group is kind of nice. And I guess like in a way, like we were thinking about resolutions and stuff, but it's really more not so much the resolution as like being with your kids and doing something as a family. That's I think is maybe more what we were kind of thinking of with this episode.
No, I think so too. Because like you said, like you want to start off the year the way it is, as much as like traditions, like luck and fortune, all that stuff. But you also, I think like there's a big belief also too for me, and I think from you guys as well. And I think many families is that you want to like spend time with your family, you know, like, and I think you want to start off each year like stronger and better each year. You know, that's our goal, you know, all the time.
Because you know you're going to walk into like whatever craziness is going to come soon thereafter.
Yes.
So you kind of like almost like, it's like almost like, oh God, I'm not going to do sports again, am I? I feel like it's almost before a game, you like got to get everybody in the locker room. I'm so out of my territory right now. And get like, you know, you got to get ready for the big games. So you got to get like, you know, got to get that, you know, that positivity, that teamworkness. You can tell I'm losing it. But the, I feel like there's something to be said
and you got to
about
be
it.
like, all right, guys, we got this,
you gotta
guys.
get my ball to the other side and score the points. So but I agree though. I think there's something like you're saying that I didn't realize that is that thought process is like somewhere deep inside my brain of like, we gotta like build that up, like almost like, you know, investing in a savings account. You gotta like get that, like you gotta build up that family so that like you going strong for the next chunk of the year, you know?
Because man, it is hard, this parenting thing, because sometimes you're hanging by a thread, and I think like New Year's is a representation of like a fresh start. Like, you know, like, okay, last year I as a parent I had some wins and I had some losses, and this year it's gonna be better. You know, we're gonna come in
Just
stronger.
Hope for a couple more wins.
We're gonna have one more win, one less loss. We're gonna be better, and maybe there'll be less money in the therapy jar this year than it was.
yeah, definitely. This year, I mean, I think I mentioned this to you guys before. I ended the year off because I was thinking about my kids and what they had gone through. So this year, I gave them gifts that kind of represented who they were as like their little.
Oh yeah, with the superhero and all that
yes,
stuff, right?
I love that. That was so cute.
Yeah, so like I gave Ellie a butterfly because she's changing and she adapts to stuff, like she morphs to stuff like a butterfly, and I gave Hayden like a fox because her power was like family and unity, and then I gave Lucas like a phoenix because he was resilient to a lot of things that he encountered this year, and you know now going into New Year's. You know, I I guess just now even talking to you guys about this, I didn't realize like. You know, I should kind of, like Mike said, like give them the hoorah to the new year. Like, hey, you guys, you know, you got your superpowers because, you know, that's how you ended the year or whatever. But now you're going into a new year with new thoughts, new ideas. You know, you have your superpowers. Let's kind of get ready. You never know what to expect with every year, right? Let's get ready and let's tackle it. Let's kill it. Let's destroy it. And let's survive and let's keep going, you know?
I like
What
it.
the fox does, the fox rips it apart. You know what I like about that though is I like how the necklaces or charms are like a physical manifestation of what you're talking about.
I
like
love
it's
it.
almost a reminder.
Yeah.
You know, like
I
they can look
really
down
like
and be
it.
like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
listen,
I
like
Yeah,
that.
like something
It
to think
was-
about.
It was
You
so
know?
cool. It was so cool because, like, when I gave it to the kids, they were all wearing them. And honestly, I thought they were just going to, like, put it to the side and, like, this is, like, yeah, this is cool, Dad, but thanks. But no, like.
No, that's just when we cook dinner for them.
I think
My son was, like, wearing it. My daughters were wearing
Aw.
it. And they were, like, proud of it. They were showing it to their cousins. And then, you know, my daughter got her Olivia Rodrigo tickets, and she was like, ah!
That's amazing, by the way.
that's even better. But I think Mr. Levine, you have set yourself up with a new tradition,
Yeah,
over there.
yeah.
I think that's very nice, and I hope your family carries that through, because that's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
have to say,
I'm kind of looking forward to seeing them when they're 18 and like saying like, Dad, where's my like, really cool new gold updated necklace of a phoenix
Yes.
or a fox
you,
or something.
you might need to
I
do
don't know.
that. Yep, it might be like a ever so couple of months.
Oh
years
man, at
thing.
some point you should get like, look, not every family has tattoos, but Mike Levine, I feel like at some point in the future, I feel like you got 3 more symbols to add to the tag collection.
Love it.
Definitely,
Oh, that's such a great
definitely.
idea.
Right?
I was,
That'd be cool.
I was actually
it.
trying to create. I was like, maybe you could help me with it later. But I was trying to talk to like AI image generator and putting like together a cool kind of family crest. But I don't know. I was messing it up. So maybe
No, that's all right. They do some cool stuff. 'Cause sometimes like you'll get weird things where you like 3 hands will show up.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
that doesn't
yeah.
look
That's weird. But just to get a general idea of something that I want to.
Oh man, I just all I want to do right now is like tab out and ask Dolly or Firefly what the fox says, because I'm curious what their perception is on oh my god, that's crazy cool. I dig that. That's like really cool. But I think that like what we're all kind of I'm not going to speak for you guys, but I think that we're all kind of getting this thought process out is like trying to like have some event or some ideal time that maybe doesn't go as planned, but like doing something with our family that really speaks true to like what we want for the year to be. And I think we wanted to resonate somehow as like a reminder without us having to say it every day. I don't know. But I like that. I like that there's like a physical manifestation. Like for us, like, it didn't matter if we were doing like making macaroons, or we even had those, I bought my kids, my wife was like, what are you buying? I bought them these, I think Sarah, you've done this too, where it's like these little like, I think they're Japanese. They're these little candy kits that look like other foods.
Yep. Love
and
those.
then you make these micro
Like
small
sushi
little like
and like they're so
and
cool.
they all taste like sweet, like gummy candy
Yep.
kind of stuff, but it's like fun to do together.
we enjoy that. That's a good time,
Right?
I have to say. Get especially a little sushi cake.
But the speaking about like resolutions and stuff, like I know that this isn't like necessarily like the biggest thing, because I think as you get older, without a doubt, the idea of resolutions almost becomes like a laughable thing, because especially with New Year's, you watch like Jenny McCarthy like trying to like talk up going to the gym and this, that, and the other. And as an adult, you're like, yeah, we used to have a gym membership on our keychain that just sat there and we didn't go. But like this idea of like resolutions, I thought maybe we could talk about that for a couple of minutes. And think about like attainable resolutions, or things that like maybe like that have come to fruition or not come to fruition. But I think like most of the time, a lot of like resolutions revolve around food or exercise, or even becoming a better family.
Yes.
With your kids and stuff. And I thought like a couple small little attainable things maybe would be, instead of like making these grandiose gestures as far as like what you could do, what you shouldn't do. When it came to like food and exercise, I just had a couple things that I just jotted down because I was like, let's try to meet this in like a reasonable, approachable way, instead of like, I'm going to go to the gym 8 times a week and I'm going to eat 4 calories a day. I mean, whatever. So I felt like maybe like a couple things would be, one, maybe toss out the snacks that are kind of hanging around your house from like Christmas time or Hanukkah, whatever else. Like just having those in the house isn't really totally ideal when it comes to trying to making a fresh start. Maybe trying to make the effort of just like drinking more water. Sometimes that is maybe something a little bit more attainable than thinking about what you can eat, what you shouldn't eat. And maybe even for us, like the idea, because we were eating out for a long time. We talked about this a couple episodes.
Yeah.
We thought maybe just like trying to cook at home, maybe 1 more day a week. Not like I'm going to cook 6 days a week. Try to cook 1 more day a week,
I
but
love
maybe
it.
something,
Love it.
right?
Yeah.
Small steps.
Obtainable.
Small steps.
Adding fruit into the pre-meal. That sounds like a pre-game. So adding fruit into like before you have dinner, before you have lunch, or like throwing out a little fruit as something you do is like more of a habit before you eat. Those are just kind of random things. And then and then just at the dinner table, we did this last year. My wife went online and found like these little dinner table conversations or dinner table questions to ask your family. And we did that for the year. So, we take those out, someone would take the turn of reading the question, and it would be like, little things like, if you were on a desert island, what movie would you bring with you? Or like, if you were, if you had to give up, I don't know, one. Really? Yeah. So, that's genius. But, maybe even try to like make dinner together one night. But have you guys had any thoughts about like, any ideas or thoughts or on the spur of the moment, any things that to make more approachable ways to kind of set resolutions or goals, or even maybe more positive habits at home? Or
so Gene, as much as he teases you about the checklist for food shopping,
I love Gene.
He also has for goal setting. He has like a little checklist grid thing.
I knew it, brother from another mother. I knew it.
Exactly. Gene, that's why. So he has like long-term goals, short-term goals, and then like I forget the other kind of goals, but like we usually focus on like he and I, like the kids don't get as involved because they're kind of like, whoa, goals, oh my god, like I'm just trying to be a person, in this world.
Can't I just get through this?
So yes, exactly. So we look at like what are some of our long-term goals, like like okay, plan like a family vacation, save X amount of money for something special. Then we look at short-term goals, like and like really like how you did it, like break it down. Like I'm gonna make one more meal at home. Like that's it. I'm going to food prep on Sunday. Like that's like small things like that. Not like these big, like I'm going to lose 50 pounds in 3 months. Like that's not going to happen, like, or maybe it happens, but like, like things are more obtainable. With the kids, we definitely try to help them focus in on not filling out that grid sheet. But like, just like focusing like, okay, like this year you're going to study a little bit more. Like, like when you do have a little extra 15 minutes, like actually study or, just be a good person, do one nice thing, volunteer time. My sister-in-law works at an assisted living facility. So the kids kind of volunteer their time there to hang out with like the people and like the residents and do stuff with them. That's nice. So like, like try to give back a little bit here and there when they can,
I like that.
So that's like our biggest things.
So it sounds like with kids that like, and this is like that whole thing where like, they don't really actually think like, like grown-ups until they're like in their 20s, but they have this grandiose idea of like setting these large, grandiose statement goals. And like, as you get older, I think like, even for me, I don't think it's really something that really hit me until recently. I feel like making these small, attainable, tinier goals that become more habits that you could kind of build upon is not something that doesn't that comes from somewhat maturity. I'm going to be mature someday, but I think like for kids that like, I feel like they don't have that. So I think it's like, maybe as a parent, maybe we could help guide them to having like, to think about the grand goal and then maybe like break it down into like a smaller part and then set the goal as a smaller piece instead of the bigger goal.
No, I like that because it'll help form and shape you.
We have a saying, if you don't know what to do, just BBP, be better people.
Hey, that's
just be a better person. Be, and
don't sell yourself short. I love when you come up with these things. That's actually pretty smart.
Yes. No, I like it. I love that.
It doesn't have to be. It could be anything. It could be eating better, studying more, walking a little bit more, or not asking for a toy as much, or just be a better person. That's
I like how you spin it more positive because you're like, don't be
I love it.
It's
yes.
Exactly.
Well done, sir. Yeah. You know what? Let's pop open this article. So there's this healthy New Year's resolution goals that
I'm looking at it. I feel like we're on track.
I'm proud, right? I know you and I are both like, I see you and I, our eyes are like, are moving through. I'm blurry all of a sudden. What happened? There we go. I'm back. It's crazy, right? So on this website, healthychildren.org, we found a article from the quote unquote supposed experts. Not us. Healthy New Year's resolution for children and teens. We'll take a few kind of random ones out. It breaks down lists of goals and it shows them by different age groups. So I think this is really smart because, it doesn't matter. And especially with the younger ones, they always want to be like the older ones, but no, it's not age appropriate. Yeah. So, but there is a decent swing. So up until, preschoolers are things like, I will try keyword, to clean up my toys by putting them away where they belong or clean up after an activity. I will let my parents help me brush my teeth twice a day. I'll wash my hands after going to the bathroom before eating. I'll try new foods when I can, especially different colors of vegetables, which is really smart. Not different types of vegetables, different colors of vegetables. So there's like a list here, which is good, right?
Yeah.
It's about trying to like get them to like get habits of good things. Go ahead.
Yeah, which is good. And like safety things, like, like, so I see like 5 through 12, they have like, tell an adult about bullying or wear a helmet or be friendly to a kid who may have a hard time making friends. And I love
like that
Like,
too.
I think just, again, kind of like BBP, like, just be a better person.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's small things because you never know. That you can make someone's day with a smile or not. I think it's so appropriate, this list. I like, it's a good idea. I can even envision like a Gene or a Mike making a list of like, okay, let's think of like a help the kids like think of goals like, okay, like an academic goal, a people goal, and then maybe like a health goal, which like brush my teeth, say hi to someone I don't know, and like make one flashcard a week or something like that. I don't know, you know.
And I like how it does, it moves on to like encompassing things you want to see them as good humans,
Yes. No, I love it. And then like with the 13-year-olds, like I think it's super important with them is like, when they're feeling angry or stressed out, to take a break, to talk about your choices with an adult I can trust. And I think that's really important. So is for 13-year-olds and up is like have conversation with parents that might be hard or difficult or with a trusted aunt or uncle or family friend to say like, hey, I'm having a hard time with something. I need to talk this out, That's good.
And these are so good compared to like, I will eat this, I will do that. It moves away from that as you kind of make through the list, right? Like, obviously like, vaping and alcohol and drugs, we're going to talk about that in a later episode, but it does mention that it talks, like you mentioned the stress, it talks about the goal of trying to get a certain number of hours of sleep. I do like there was something here about the trying to like set limits to, video game use, iPad use. It doesn't make sense to take those things away from the kids, but it sure makes sense to set limits on kids. So, but I think like you setting limits makes you the bad guy. Then part of the conversation is much more healthy,
Yeah.
Right.
Which is something that I think we're gonna have a discussion about too when it comes to video game night, because video games are good, but video games all day long, that's a problem. So I like it. I think it's pretty good.
And it seems that my son seems to think too. It's like, oh, I'm on vacation, Dad. I could play all day, every day, and not leave my room. And I'm like, sorry.
Starting to smell crusty in here. Yeah, it starts to smell like Doritos and feet. I think that's a problem.
Exactly.
All
so
right.
That's going to be a New Year's resolution for sure.
I think so too. But,
I love it.
So I think this episode is going to post on New Year's Day. We'd love to hear from you. How are your New Year's resolutions? How was your New Year's Day? You have comments. Why can't I speak today? If you have questions or comments for us, a topic, an idea, parenting story, or fail that you experienced, get in touch with us. Let us know how that went for you. You can leave us a message on our Hey Other Parents voicemail line. Please pay careful attention because I made a mistake in the show notes. It's 559-537-5437 or 559-537-KIDS or 559-LAY-KIDS if you're feeling fancy and French. 2, you can email the show at heyotherparents@gmail.com. Let us know what's going on with you. You have a question, you have a comment for the show. 3, you could join us on Instagram at heyotherparents. We'll try to keep you up to date with show notes, polls, mores, questionable parents moments. Let us know. We might include it in our feed, but we will always take ridiculous moments that happen on our show and make something with AI because it just makes us smile at night. And we are going to move on to time to unplug. Don't forget that you'll be a better we if you take care of me. This is a portion of our show where we talk about something that we're into, something we found that may or may not have to do with the kiddos, but it makes us smile at night. It gives us a chance to be with our spouses or maybe heal for ourselves after that nasty New Year's night. But this is a chance for us to think about the things that make us happy. So, Sarah, why don't you take us out? What is your time to unplug for this week?
Oh, okay. So it's more like a general thing, like I guess a Five Below or a Dollar Tree. I don't know. I used to love to journal back in the day, and then I kind of dropped off. It's something that I really missed in my life. I used to really take it seriously. Like I would go to Barnes Nobles and get like brand new beautiful journals, and then I kind of stopped. I got busy. So this year, I guess it's kind of like a resolution is that I am going to start journaling again, whether it's like thoughts or like dreams or like poetry that I have randomly in my head, a little phrase. Sometimes I like quotes that I hear. So, but back in the day, my journaling probably was like a reflection of my day and things I'm thinking about. And as I'm older, and I don't know, I have time to write like a short novella of my day each day, but I just feel like there's an outlet that I want to have. So I think journals, and Five Below has reasonably priced journals, and And I think it was something like a kind of like a self-care New Year's kind of thing. I felt it was appropriate for this episode.
To separate from electronics, like, do you like the idea of like pen and paper? Like, does that make you happier than?
Yes, I like the pen to paper thing. You know, it's there. It's like raw. I don't know. I just always been like into that. So I think I'm gonna pick it up again.
That's so
I've
cool.
started a couple journals throughout the years here and there, and then it's turned to like a to-do list book and stuff like that. So I think this one I bought purposefully to just journal random things in there. I don't know what it'll turn into, but that's my goal is to kind of get some things out there.
I love that. My
Yeah.
wife does that bullet journaling stuff, and she should see her like with like the rulers and the markers and it's a thing. But when she gets it set up, she got like she keeps it really organized. It's kind of cool. So I'd be interested to hear how your progress goes with your journaling and your awesomeness. So,
I love it.
Mike Levine, take us out. What we got?
So this Unplugged, I don't know if you heard about it, but there's a new Zack Snyder film on Netflix called Rebel Moon. And it was really cool. If you're into sci-fi, which like me, I love it. It was amazing. It has similarities to Star Wars, and actually Zack Snyder had pitched it to Lucasfilms for like a Star Wars movie, but I think there was some discrepancies between the two, because I don't know if you know Zack Snyder as a director, but he has some very like bloody, gory kind of like Snyder cut kind of things that probably didn't fit so much in the Star Wars universe. I liked it. I thought it was a great movie. It was part 1. Part 2 comes out in April, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. But yeah, it was really good. I definitely recommend it.
That's wild. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about this. This is like the anti-Star Wars, right? Like this is like because everyone was like, "Is this guy gonna have lightsabers? What's his game plan here? What's he gonna do?"
It's in there. There's some glowing swords. There's droids. There's there's a group of people that get together to kind of stop the Empire. Which is
does he like do his best to like call them other things?
Yeah. Yeah,
everybody, ready your light swords and your Z-wings, because we're gonna go on a adventure.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I think you should all definitely check it out.
I like it. I look forward to seeing the Bejai out in the forest with their light weapons. So I am going to check it out. I know we've been talking about this. So this week, I have another show. I feel like I do more than just watch TV, but this seems to be the thing I do. So Percy Jackson was a book that my kids really, really enjoyed. It was kind of like one of those things that some kids like were into Harry Potter, and then there was this other thing because like Greek myths became like a big thing for a while, and Percy Jackson is basically like the Harry Potter but Greek myths. So it's about a kid who has all these problems in school. He's dyslexic. He sees things. It's kind of cool, and then he finds out that like he's half god. So it's the story of him going to this camp, and there were these movies that weren't good, but the books were good, and they made graphic novels. So my kids read those. We tried to watch the movies, and movies were kind of like meh. So then we were reading that Disney Plus was going to make this show into a season. Instead of a movie, they're making it into a show. So the first couple episodes have posted. I guess by the time this episode goes live, maybe the third episode will post. It's actually pretty cool. I dig it.
I need to
they
check
have some
that
nice
out.
actors. The kids do a good job. They're now like kids instead of like, like when you watch like Beverly Hills 90210, how like they're like 35 years old. They're supposed to be like 18. So so this is actually like the kids are the right age. It's got the right flow. The first episode kicks you right into gear. Like they're not messing around. They get you like if you've read the books, you remember they have like the scene in the museum where the where like Percy gets attacked. He pulls out this pen. It's really a sword. He is at the camp in episode 2. Things are happening. He's finding out who he is. He's already found out about his powers, and I think episode 3 he's going on a mission. So they're moving this thing right along. But I do believe that every season is going to be one book, which is actually very cool. It gives them more of a chance to kind of like get to know the characters and all that stuff, which I think is not that shocking this time. The way that they're doing shows now instead of movies, how it's become more of like an experience of like 8 episodes or 6 episodes instead of like a 2-hour movie. But we dig it. It's really cool. And I think it's coming on Wednesdays in Disney Plus. The whole thing's not being released at once. They do the thing where they kind of like drop 2 episodes for the first episode. And then they go back to the 1 episode a week. So I'm into it. I feel like I like having a show where it doesn't all come out the same time. if I'm going to talk to people about it. You know what I mean? Like if it's like a show
Yeah.
like Stranger Things, like, you know, I don't mind like half of it coming out in one shot and like whatever else, but this is cool. This like brings me back to when Lost was out and like everyone's like, what's going to happen next? What's going on? So I think it's really cool. But if your kids are into anything fantastical or Greek myths, I think that this is actually a good show to watch. And what's nice is because I feel like there's probably going to be a gap between season 1 and season 2. You might end up like watching season 1 on Disney Plus, and then maybe you want to go and read the book or read the second book or the graphic novels. So this way you're kind of ready for the next season when that comes out. But it's cool. I think you guys might check it out. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I definitely need to check that out.
I definitely check it out too.
I heard some great reviews other than yours as well.
So far, so good, right? Went to Comic-Con. We missed out on the session to actually go see the preview. So we were like already like chomping at the bit, but it is really cool. But anyway, so I think that's going to do it for this episode. We did this episode on New Year's Day. We're bringing us back to the time before time when we were eating grapes and putting on fancy clothes and getting ready to put on the sparkles, and we're getting ready for the excitement. As you guys are listening to this episode at home, you probably just got through your New Year's Eve and now you're sitting around questioning how you're gonna make it for a better year. But I hope that we've given you some ideas or things that you could think about. I'm sure you have many ideas of your own, but we've got this all together because you know what? It is the three of us and all of you. If you have a chance, please pop down to Apple Podcast app, leave us a review, write something nice, write something nasty, write something, who cares, about our show and what you think and about this parenting thing, and we always appreciate it. We can't wait to explore this parenting thing with you again on next week on Hey the Parents, because it's the three of us and all of you. Don't forget to hug your kids and charge your Chromebooks, especially because vacation is almost up. That's new for me. For Mike and for Sarah, we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey the Parents is produced by Mike Levine, Sarah Desravines, and me, Michael Height. I edit and mix our show. Our intro voice recording was done by the one and only Coltrane. If you like our show, we hope you will consider supporting us through our site tip jar. Consider becoming a member. Doing so supports us and gives you access to an exclusive Hey the Parents episode each month. Find us online on Twitter and Instagram at Hey the Parents, or send us an email at heytheparents@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.